se ofenda, pero hasta que no estás aquí dentro no sabes la grandeza de este equipo.
Só nós sentimos isso. Por muitos desgostos que possamos ter, valores mais altos se levanta. O valor mais alto que se levanta em termos futebolísticos chama-se Benfica.
Good evening. Happy Monday. Another Monday, another win, 3 more points. We got new hashtags all over the place. Some easy to see, some not so easy to see. Welcome everyone in the chat. Boys, how are you guys?
Very good.
Hey boys.
I love it. I love it.
Everyone's doing well?
Everybody's doing good.
Good.
All right. Today we got a lot to unpack here. It was a heated argument in our chat. I was trying to keep these guys at bay to save it for the discussion today. So let's see how it goes. Dynamo Kiev 0, Benfica 0. Opening group stage match of the Champions League. We'll talk about that. We will talk about today's win against Boavista. 6 for 6 in the league. First time with a Portuguese manager. The last time was in 82-83 with Sven Goran Eriksson that we won the first 6 in the league. So ironically, the most hated JJ does it for the first time as a Portuguese manager in charge of Benfica.
A lot of firsts.
We'll talk about frequent criticism. There's a lot of divide amongst the fans. There's a lot of opinions, which is fine, but we'll talk about that. And then obvious improvements. Can you guys put your finger on an improvement that stands out from what we saw last year compared to this year? So we'll jump right in. We had Dynamo Benfica, a match where Benfica started with Vlaco Dimos, Morato, Vertonghen, Otamendi. Lucas Verissimo could not play because he got sent off against PSV. Gilberto on the right, Grimaldo on the left, João Mario Weigl in the middle, Rafa, Everton, and Yaremchuk to start. A game that Benfica had 67% possession throughout the match. We had control of the game. Dynamo created a chance in the first half off a free kick that hit the crossbar, or the Odysseus saved, sorry. And then in the second half, they had the shot at the end in stoppage time, which hit the crossbar, rebound, Odysseus saved it. And then from a corner kick, they created some havoc. But apart from that, taking out those 90 seconds, they didn't really do anything. They couldn't really get into our half. But wanted to get your thoughts on that. Oscar, I'm going to save you for second. I'm going to start with Bill first. Bill, what were your thoughts on that game? And do you consider, right, there's been a lot of talk about Benfica was lucky, blah, blah, blah. Do you think, in fact, we were lucky? I think that having had to have a winner in that game, it would have been completely unjust for Benfica not to have won it, given what they did. But your thoughts?
No, I agree. I think Benfica controlled the game. I don't think we created a lot going forward. We didn't cause a lot of scoring chances, but I thought we controlled the game. We kind of controlled the pace of the game. And I agree. If there was anyone to win that game, it should have been Benfica. I don't think we got lucky at the end. I mean, he's off. But the only thing they created were that minute of just chaos at the end. I thought outside of that, we controlled the game. We just struggled to find any kind of scoring opportunities and take advantage of the ones we did have.
Okay. Oscar, do you agree? Do you think we got lucky?
to me, this is the situation. Benfica, this is a team that we all said it here that we had to get a win there and a win home, right? This is a given. This is the weakest team in the group. We have to win both 2 games, right? To me, it's a disappointing result. It's a very disappointing result because we could have easily lost that game. Possession doesn't, like when we talked about France Portugal in the Euro final. France all the possession. Does it mean Portugal didn't deserve to win? Of course they deserved to win. Dynamo could have scored that goal at the end. It was offside because of VAR. If VAR didn't exist, we would have lost that game and went home with a loss.
Yeah, but you can use that argument everywhere else, right? I think that's a useless argument.
No.
He's off, right?
Right, but we lost last year we didn't go to the Champions League because of VAR.
Okay,
right?
Fair.
Okay, so I'm making the argument because of VAR because this time VAR counted. And so
but he's off, right? So we didn't get lucky. If anything, we should give credit to the Benfica's defensive line that all got up on a ball played back into the box, right? Like it's easy for us to discredit.
The ball that got played back into the box, he was on. It was the play before that he was off.
Correct.
Right, but
if you watch the highlight, Benfica's back line is completely up.
All right. So off is off. I totally get it. Off is off. But this is a thing that changed from last year. All right. If we were still in the same position as last year, we lost this game. All right. The best chances on the game was Dynamo's. We could have controlled the whole game, but they had the best chance. I don't care if it's in the 95th minute. They had the best chances. We had one shot from Chuk that the guy saved with his foot. Right, the goalie. Other than that, tell me another dangerous play we had.
We had dangerous plays. We just didn't execute in the end. Rafa had 2 of his own.
That's part of the game too. If you're going to argue that the part of the game, that's part of the game. So we didn't execute. So we made bad decisions. Yeah, controlling the game doesn't mean we have chances to score. Bill said it correctly. We didn't create much going forward. Right. So now my thing is, and this is where you guys are going to be all jumping on JJ's bandwagon. You come to the second half. We're not creating much going forward. And then you put 2 guys that never played for Benfica before. Like you play the Luzanzo that played for 20 minutes one game, and you play the Najamba, whatever his freaking name is, that has never played for Benfica before.
Hold on, it was Lazaro and Radonic.
Yeah, so
way off.
Those 2 clowns. One of them 20 minutes, and the other one has never played for Benfica. You put them on a game that you have to win. Maybe they show something in practice that we don't see, but like you put them on a Champions League game that you have to win, and you have players like Pizzi on the bench that have proven themselves, and you put them in the 90th minute.
But go ahead, Bill.
So my argument, and I'm with you on this at the beginning, I thought Pizzi should have started this game, but at that moment in the game, bringing in a guy like Pizzi that essentially does the same shit Everton does, gets the ball, keeps possession, doesn't create much going forward, doesn't take anyone one-on-one, has no pace. In a game like that, wasn't going to do anything, right? You needed guys like Rafa that have the pace that can attack the defenders. That's what that Serbian guy does. He has the pace and he can attack defenders.
Like we had Rafa the whole game, right? That was the whole play was that game, right? So like we're talking about like we never had the final pass. Mikey just said it. The execution at the end was where we messed up. Who's the best guy in Benfica to do a final pass? Tell me. Who's the best guy in Benfica with a final pass? The tiki-taka in the front and the box. It's Pizzi. So
but there was no space
one of them.
there.
Yeah, right. But he had space. We had 70% possession. We had the space. We had the ball.
Yeah, but that was all at midfield.
But they had their guys off the edge of the box.
Well, we needed something from midfield to the last third. We needed something, the connection that was missing the whole game. So he puts him in the 90th minute, our best guy that can get the final pass.
Pizzi only went in because Rafa got hurt.
Right. So there's another one. Jesus is a fucking idiot. To me, he's an idiot. That game should have been won. If you put Pizzi on, don't start him. Let the guys battle each other on the field until the 65th minute. But then you need the final pass. You have Pizzi on the bench and you put him on the 90th minute.
But I think his thought process was Dynamo sat back the whole game, right? Like they're playing at home in a season where, or in a group where you have Bayern and Barcelona, theoretically on paper, right? Similar to them, they should have thought the same thing of us, right? This is a game that we need to win at home. And I think JJ's thought process was, let me bring in Darwin, who's direct. Let me bring in Radonjic, who's direct, who's quick. Lazaro, who's quick, and hopefully Lucescu is gonna, in the final minutes, step out and open up a little bit, right? And then with those direct players, you have a little bit of pace in behind. The problem is that Dynamo never opened up. They continued to sit back, and opposite of what happened in Santa Clara's game, right, where he made the change at halftime and it worked. In this game, his gamble didn't pay off, right? He thought that Dynamo was going to open up, and they didn't. They did the opposite. They just kept doing what they were doing, and it turns out that those substitutions weren't as effective as you would have expected them.
Because he gambled. He gambled on something.
But every decision you make as a coach is a gamble.
It is, but like we all, I mean, we're not coaches. We're just being color coaches. Fine. Like we're on the outside, we're looking in, but we have something like. And I'm not saying like Pizzi is the best player in the world. I'm just saying for that kind of game, he was needed towards the end of the game to do the final execution, but not to score a goal, but to give the final pass. We're missing that the whole game. We had a 7% possession and nothing to show for it. We had one shot that Chuk hit the guy's leg. That's it. Dangerous wise. Other than Rafa shot a shot, didn't shoot, or he got blocked, or whatever. That's part of the game. But I'm talking about the final pass that we needed. Pizzi could have brought it in, and he didn't. Jesus didn't put him in. So to me, Jesus is a fault for this tie.
I don't disagree. Right, his changes didn't pan out. Kenny, thoughts on the game?
First of all, can you guys hear me all right?
Yeah.
All right. So unfortunately, I didn't get to see the second half of the game, but I agree with Oscar's analysis of the game. I think it was a disappointing result, but it could have been worse. I mean, we still got a point out of it. I guess all the scramble at the end, we could have came out with a loss, but a point's better than nothing. So I mean, my analysis is pretty short and sweet. I think it could have been better, but it also could have been worse. So we're kind of in the middle there. A point's a point. I think they're all important, especially in a group phase. So I'll take it and move on and hope to. We're now going to have to get some sort of result from Barca or Bayern. So that's going to be the hard part.
Do you think? And I'll go around, but I'll start with you, Kenny. Do you think that this draw, given the result of the other game, right? Bayern Munich goes to Barcelona and wins, right? So we have 1 point. Barcelona has none. We play Barcelona next, which I think ends up being more beneficial, right? Because we play essentially our direct competitor now next, right? So if we win, right now we have 4, they have 0, right? And theoretically, the team that we thought going into it would be our biggest challenge for second place, right, could theoretically have 0 points, and if we beat them at home, right, puts us in a big spot. But do you think that this draw away, given the other result, in any way hurts our chances of moving to the next phase?
No, I don't think it hurts our chances. I mean, we're still in it. It's still early on. You don't know what's going to happen. I personally don't think Barca is. I mean, they're just not what they used to be, right? And they're coming off another tie again today. There's controversy, and the club's kind of in a little bit of shambles going on internally. So I think, like you said, playing Barca next is good. I think if we can get even just another point out of it, it's going to be beneficial for us, because I do think we'll bust out a victory at home against Kiev. So in all, I kind of 5 points. I think 5 points are manageable within the group phase, and I think it could be enough to get through. So
to where? To Europa League, not to Champions.
That's not the Champions.
No, if you think Barcelona could lose to us or tie to us, if Barcelona ties to us 1 point, if they beat Dynamo twice, it's 7 points. So no, it won't work that way.
I think a win.
We'll see what happens. I still think we can manage to get out of the group. I don't think it's do or die, or that this result puts us out of it. I don't think so.
No.
Oscar, what do you think?
No, I just think from the beginning we're playing a buy-in. Barcelona's having the toughest year since I can remember, right? So if there's a year to beat Barcelona, it's this year. But they're still Barcelona. Any team that goes into Camp Nou is still going to play Barcelona. Maybe not the Spanish league because they're all used to playing them, like just the studio playing Benfica. Sometimes they get a result and start to lose, right? But like when a team from outside of the country comes to Barcelona to play Barcelona, they're going to play with 11 back. All right, besides a Bayern or besides a Man City or besides a team that's their caliber, right? But we play Benfica or any team from Portugal goes to Barcelona Camp Nou, they're not going to have possession. Barcelona's going to have all the possession. So we'll see how it goes because we're still going to play with scared. Defensively against Barcelona. So this game to me, Dynamo, both games I said from the beginning was must wins, and then we can get steal a result from Barcelona at home or Bayern at home or whatever, and we go. Our chances are a lot better. Now, tying to Dynamo, to our weakest opponent, supposedly in this group, is not good for me.
I think Benfica beats Barcelona. They are so poor right now. And when you mention Barcelona will have the possession, I think that you're confusing the Barcelona that we know, right? That tiki-taka, keep the ball, no one touches the ball, with the reality of Barcelona today. They're not the same team that they were. And I would be willing to bet that when Benfica goes to Camp Nou, that the difference in possession won't be more than 5 to 10%. Bill.
Barca doesn't. I just watched a little bit of the game today. Like they don't even have a forward, or at least a legit forward. Like they were playing with Piqué at striker the entire second half. Like they're not. I mean, we can easily say that Dynamo, Barca could have trouble with Dynamo at away too.
I think they do.
They could. Like we've gotten results against Liverpool in Anfield. Like so, like anything is possible. Right. But the odds are very the odds are the odds. Right.
I think the only game in this group that I think we can write off from the get-go is in Munich.
At home against.
I don't think you can write it off, right? Like I think at home, Benfica with fans in the stadium, I think Benfica could potentially pull a rabbit out of a hat, right? But I think today's Barcelona, I think Benfica should win at home, and I think that they should be able to compete for the result there. Again, I don't think this Barcelona is anywhere near as intimidating as they used to be.
I agree. I think this is like, if you could pick the perfect moment to catch a Barca, right? It's right now, right? They're in turmoil. All these rumors of the manager. Is he staying? Is he leaving? The club itself, right, has all these debts. Can they afford to even sack the manager? Right? I saw something today that said if they get rid of him, it's like 16 million that they owe him. So can they afford to sack him? Doesn't look like they can.
They have to unregister someone.
Yeah. So I mean, it is a good time to catch them to play them, but I agree. This Barca isn't the Barca that we grew up with, right? It's not that Barcelona that's going to have 80% of the possession. I think it happened. I forget when it was when Benfica played Barca with Ronaldinho, and they had like 75% possession. Right? It's not going to be like that this year. I don't think. This Barcelona team doesn't scare me. On paper, yeah, you would chalk up Bayern, Barca to move out of the group, but once you look into
look at Barcelona's starting 11 today. The back four, other than Serginho Dest, you probably don't recognize any of those other guys.
Yeah.
MVP of the game, who would you give it to? Oscar?
Vlaco. He just kept us in the game, both at the 88th minute and after the 90th. Like he gave us a point.
Kenny?
Yeah, I'd agree. And what a turnaround he's been, right? I mean, he's been lights out.
Yep. Bill?
Yeah, I think Vlaco's the obvious one. He had some great stops in the first half, kept us in the game. I think, again, we can point to Weigl and João Mario in the middle, right? They've been solid all season so far. I think the turnaround Weigl's had since his first year here is unbelievable. I mean, we'll get into it later.
Yeah,
but he's been unbelievable this year.
Oscar, you got a fan. They're normally against you, but today you got a fan.
It was
is that his burner account? Oscar keeps looking on his phone. He might be just.
There was someone earlier with the
you have to tell some of those people that the Portuguese podcast is like.
I know. According to Goal Point, Otamendi was their man of the match, 7.3. Vlaco was a 6.6, along with Vertonghen. João Mario 6, Weigl 6.1, Morato 6.1, Gil 5.1, Gris 5.7, Everton 5.3, Chuk 4.9, and Rafa 6.4. And then Radonic 4.6, Darwin 4.9, and Lazaro 5.0. Ben wants to know if we cut Tank. No, Tank said he couldn't make it today. Thanks for worrying about him, Ben. I'll let him know. Actually, speaking of Tank, he sent me some hot takes that he had. He said, Kiev, we played well, but we got a break at the end. Had chances, but couldn't score. Needed 3 points, but the tie isn't terrible. So Ben sent him to the minors. Yeah, he got relegated to the B team. Moving along. Today's match. Benfica 3, Boavista 1. A game that, ironically, last year, Benfica's descent started with Boavista away. The 6th match of the season, as it was today, and the same referee, which I thought was interesting. This year wasn't the same story. We played at home. Benfica, Vlaco Dimos, Lucas Veríssimo comes back in. Otamendi, Vertonghen, Grimaldo, Diogo comes back in as well. Weigl, João Mario, Rafa, Yaremchuk, and Darwin get the start. And we scored early. And then an amateur mistake that can't be committed, especially in that part of the pitch, got picked up, and the guy scores a worldie. Like he probably could have had 7 tries at that and probably wouldn't have hit that the way he did again. But a credit to him, he smashed it into the top corner. And then shortly after, Weigl redeems himself and scores, puts it 2-1. And then our boy Darwin makes it 3-1 to seal the deal. 3 more points. three more points. Benfica is 6 for 6 again. First time with a Portuguese manager winning the first 6 games of the league. Last time was 82-83 with Eriksson. Oscar, I'm going to start with you. Thoughts on the game, and what are your thoughts on this João Mario Weigl partnership, which has really solidified our team?
By answering that question, I think I'm answering one of your things on the list. Yeah. That's the biggest improvement of the from last year to this year is our midfield. Like, adding João Mario basically changed the whole midfield, and he's just a world class player. Like that guy is like. Oh.
Go on,
23 minutes. Let me write that down.
I lost the thought of trying.
Oh, he's all rattled now, Julia. What are you doing?
So, what was I talking about?
João Mario, world class.
Adding João Mario to the midfield basically is changing the whole, like that number 8 that we needed. Is João Mario. Like at the beginning, you said it many times, João Mario is not anywhere close to Enzo Perez. Has he changed your mind yet?
I'll go after you.
All right, because João Mario to me is the box to box guy. He's the guy that can come back and help defend. The guy that attacks. He's the ball at his feet is like world class. Like he's the top guy that we have in our squad this year. And I'm glad we got him for $5 million. Which is a steal.
7, I think.
7, whatever it was, but it's a steal. This guy changes our whole team. Dynamic of the team is all João Mario. Everything goes through João Mario. And then we have Weigl that's basically stepped out of a shell. Like he came out of a shell. Like whatever he was in last year and the year before, half a year with Laj, the guy maybe he needed that year and a half to adapt. But like, man, he can play for the German national team now.
I mean, when he got to Benfica, he was international, right? And he left Dortmund because he didn't really like playing center back, and that's the function that he was playing there.
Right.
And I have a question for you in regards to that, but I'll save it for later. Kenny, thoughts on what you were able to see of the game? Work's getting in your way.
Yeah, no. So just to Oscar's point about João Mario, and I was a little hesitant to kind of like crown him as the savior at the beginning of the season, but the fact that you don't have to, like, I don't have to see Tarat and Gabriel in our midfield, think you notice it more that João Mario is so much better and solidifies the midfield. If we were half the, I mean, I still think João Mario is kind of quiet at times in games, right? But he just doesn't make mistakes. I mean, you just notice it when Tarat's in there. You realize the mistakes right away. With João Mario, he can like not do anything the entire game, but like he doesn't make a mistake. He might be quiet. He might not be involved that much, but he doesn't make mistakes. And that's why, I mean, I think that's the biggest change from last year into this year is João Mario. And I'll absolutely, I'll eat my words at the beginning of the season when I was saying that he's not going to make, he's not going to be the savior. But to this point, 100%, João Mario has fixed the midfield and is why we are undefeated this year so far.
And not only that, before we go to Bill, but you have to remember in Sporting, I don't think the Sportingistas give him that much credit because João Mario's midfield last year and them going on that kind of almost undefeated season, a lot had to do with João Mario and Palhinha in the midfield, right? So what Palhinha and João Mario are creating in the midfield is exactly what Weigl and João Mario is doing this year. Like they're good, and João Mario is a quiet, like Kenny said, quiet but a workhorse. He does the things that you don't see. Like today, you didn't hear much of his name, but to me, he was the MVP because
and he doesn't make mistakes. He just doesn't make mistakes. Yeah,
he's legit on the right spot at the right time. It's unbelievable to know how smart, how soccer smart he is. Like he's legit at the right spots all game. It's unbelievable. It's good to see.
And I think that's why he didn't get much credit last year with Sporting, because when you have a guy next to you like Palhinha, right, throwing his body around, recovering balls, breaking up play, right, like you're naturally inclined to see that, right, opposed to the plays off the ball where the simple give and goes or the quick switch of field. Kenny, before I go to Bill, put your helmets on for this one. But what are you feeling about Darwin? 2 more goals.
Yeah, so Darwin is just an odd thing, right? I mean, I am critical. I still have him on a short leash, right? We talked about this on our group chat and Oscar brought it up again. He's still on my short leash. He's a clumsy player. But at the end of the day, all we care about is if he scores goals, right? That's, we want our defenders to defend and our forwards to score. And hey, he's got 4 goals in the last 3 games, I guess, right? He didn't score in Dynamo, but he's got 4 goals. I mean, that's what we want him to do, whether it looks pretty or ugly or whatever.
He didn't play. I mean, he went in as a sub against Dynamo.
Okay. So, I mean, early on in the season, he was hurt. We were still, coming off an injury. He finally got his legs under him, and he's got 4 goals in the last couple of games. So, it doesn't look pretty at all the time. It doesn't. I still think he's got like clumsy feet, like he trips over himself a lot. But if he keeps scoring goals, why should we be upset? It's the same thing. It's the same criticism with Seth, right? Seth can miss 5 goals but he still scores the game winner. Or last year he scored a ton of goals and he was missing a ton, and we give him criticism. And Darwin's going to be that same type of player where we're going to criticize the way his style. But if he continues to score goals, hey, fuck it, I'm all for it.
Bill, what are your thoughts now? I'll go to Oscar for his rebuttal.
No, I thought, again, today we controlled the game well and took advantage of the chances we had. I think Darwin is starting to come out of his shell a little bit, right? We're seeing him put away chances, make those good runs. He probably should have had maybe 1 or 2 more. Oscar will criticize those.
3. He's got them written down as notebook.
3 more. Okay, damn, I missed track then. All right, but I think overall it was a good performance. I mean, there's not much to critique here, right? 3-1 Boavista after coming home after that disappointing draw in Kiev. I think it was a good result and kind of keep the momentum going.
Oscar.
There's almost like. So Darwin has a big price tag on him. Like it's almost one of those things he has to perform. He doesn't have much time to come out and perform. Last year he started off great. Well, he wasn't scoring too many goals, but he was assisting like a ton, right? And everybody's giving, hey, he's getting into him. He's getting into the league. He's new, but he's assisting a lot of goals and all that. But we excuse the lack of goals. This year he scored 2 goals. Last week he scored 2. Hit off people's legs and whatnot. They went in. The goal's a goal. Perfect. He's 25 million. So I love it. Now today he scored a header. And he's the best header in Benfica had in history over 20 billion years. So beautiful. Like 25 million for a header, or 3 headers he scored since he showed up to Benfica. And then he had I have him written down. 8 minutes in, he missed the open netter almost, and you guys excuse it. All the pass.
The ball's behind him.
Yeah, he tried hitting with his right leg. It hits his left. That's not a.
He was trying to flick it.
Yeah,
no forward's gonna be like 5 for 5, bro. Like
no, but okay. So Weigl.
But Oscar is. Right?
Weigl scored the winning goal, right? Like that's the crucial goal. That's the goal that we needed, right? So I give the credit to Weigl. If Darwin scored, I would have given it to Darwin. If Darwin said, "Hey, listen," but I want to see a goal where Darwin actually. There's one game was last year in the Europa League. We scored a tie, I guess, against Rangers. That he scored the tying goals at the end. That's what I need from Darwin more often. I need that from Darwin, and 25 million is what I expect from a forward.
If Weigl doesn't give up that ball, Darwin's goal is the game winner.
Yeah, but at that time when it's 0-0, we were dominating the whole game. Like it's the pressure is not there. The first goal is going to happen. But now when Boavista scores and then we have to come back and rebuttal, then that's a little bit more pressure. It's fine. Darwin could have scored it, but we had 6 clear chances to score. We scored 3. I mean, 50%. I guess I'll take it.
Darwin was our 3rd leading scorer last year.
Yeah, who was the first and second?
Seth with 26, Peasy with 16. Hold on. And Darwin with 14, with 5 less games.
5 less games than Peasy? How about minutes?
Yeah.
What about minutes?
Minutes he had just
if he's playing 5 less games,
right? No,
a lot of times Peasy came in as 80th minute because Jesus for some reason was putting him like super late again.
Yeah, so he was getting garbage goals.
It was like almost a game's worth.
Yeah,
but again, he was
Peasy's are mostly PKs too.
New to the league, and he got 2 less points than Superstar.
Hey, I hope, dude. I wish nothing but for Darwin to score 50 goals this year. That's my hope, and that's what I don't expect 50 goals, but I expect him to be the leading goal scorer since he's our most expensive player.
No, I don't disagree with you. I'm just as hopeful as you are that he turns things around. I mean, hopefully these goals give him a little bit of confidence. He looked like he had a little bit more confidence to him, a little bit more pep in his step. The fans cheering him off the field after that performance, I think, will be a big boost for him as well, especially coming from last year where there were no fans in the stadium. So hopefully
can I since you guys brought up Peasy and all that, can I bring up like the whole 90-minute subs in?
Yeah, let's hear your
so I know Bill said in the chat, it's wasting time and all that, but you don't waste time with a Peasy coming in. That's to me that's like a disrespectful to a player like Peasy. Like you put him like fine, you put in a mate to waste time because it's a guy that's going to come to midfield and hold the game and all that. You don't put in a Peasy on the 90th minute 2 games in a row just to waste time or to kill a sub or whatnot. That's a slap in the guy's face who's carried Benfica for the last 5 years. To me, that's why he's a piece of shit. I'm sorry that I'm changed my mind.
But if you,
I highly doubt that those 2 subs are the reason why.
No, I told you. The only reason I will thank Jesus if we win the Champions League. It's not going to happen, and I hope it does. But what he did when he left to Sporting, he was dead to me. So maybe
hold on. Before we go let's finish this topic off because that'll touch on the next one. Just quickly, thoughts on the so-called shout for a penalty from Otamendi. Any thoughts on that?
I didn't even see it. I was watching the whole game. I didn't see anything. No, so I don't know.
He like jumped in and there was like contact. The guy didn't go down. He was about to shoot, and then Otamendi swept it away with his right foot, and there was shouts that it was a penalty. I didn't think so, but I don't know about it.
No, I don't think it's a penalty. I know I can understand the cries because Benfica, when he slid in, his knee and the guy's leg touched before he touched the ball. But then the second sweep took the ball away. I don't see a ref. I mean, in Portugal you see everything, but I don't.
It doesn't he almost shot it still. Like he would have shot it if Otamendi doesn't sweep it away. Like it doesn't knock him over. He doesn't take him out. There's contact. right? It's no different than shoulder to shoulder in the box.
I didn't see like the Juiz final or whatever, but even during the game, first of all, I didn't see the play. And second of all, I didn't see any replay of it. I didn't hear anyone really talk about it.
Remember the Katsurani's against, I think it was the guy that went to Manchester United from Porto, Anderson.
Yeah.
He swept him, and then he on the sweep on the way in, he got the guy's leg, guy kind of twisted his knee, but then he got the ball, and they were crying about assassino. That's almost the same thing, but less tackle.
All right. Who is
Mike?
Your...
Can I just add one other thing? And I know Everton came in as a sub, but I think we like to criticize Darwin on here, but what about Everton again? I mean, I think there should be more criticism on Everton than Darwin at this point. And I flip-flopped from Everton, right? At the end of the season last year, he started to kind of turn it on. And this year, I mean, I don't know. I really don't see this kid like, I just don't see the Brazilian flair. I mean, I've said it before. I don't see him being a difference maker on the team. And again, I could flip again at halfway through the season, but I don't know. He's lost a spot, right? I think he's lost a spot on Brazil. He didn't get called up last time, and he's coming off the bench. I mean, at this point, Darwin's starting in his position. I don't know. I don't see what he's got to turn it around. I mean, he's also $25 million player, 22, and so he comes with a big price tag, but no one likes to talk about him, right?
And he was the player. He was the player. Everyone said that. Yes. Everyone said jogador já feito. Like he was ready to go, plug and play.
Yep.
Nope.
Yeah, but you don't see Jesus leaving him like basically until the 90th minute. It's just because Jesus brought him in, and Jesus bringing him in means he has to play. So he's always insisting on him, sucking or not. He's insisting on him.
We left him out today.
He left. He put him in at 70th minute. But like he's keeping him chances and chances and chance after chances.
No, I agree with that.
It's a player that he brought in. He has to show up.
Correct. That's the thing, right? And I don't disagree with you on this aspect, right? Like if he's not working out, right? Like you put someone else in, right? But
and I think he did that
more
last
pressure
year
since he brought him in.
He did that last year too. There was a point in time where he benched him. Yeah. Well, he benched him. He benched him
for a few games, and then he started to come back in again.
Yeah, and then he came towards the end of the season. Everton was actually playing really well.
He did,
right? But my thing is with Darwin, right? It's easy to criticize him because it's all about goals. If he doesn't score, he sucks. With Everton, we're not expecting the goals, so it's harder to like criticize him more because it's more just like on-field play. But he really hasn't. I mean, he had like a give and go. I think in the late in the second half that was like for
Grimaldo.
Yeah.
The shot that Darwin,
that Darwin like turned onto his right foot, and he
should have shot it with his left and rainbowed the goalie. And then
the goalie got a nice.
Should have chipped the goalie and Maradona'd him. Yeah.
But
for $25 million,
you got to at least have $20 million in that foot.
Last against Dynamo. Oh, he's opening his body wide so he can trick the goalie to go near post.
It was Santa Clara.
Today, he's opening his body wide.
He did exactly the same thing.
Same thing. He just went far post.
He opened his body wide to go far post. Bill said he went through the goalie last week.
Against Santa Clara,
It's not. He kicked it. He kicked it with his heel against Santa Clara.
Yeah. Kicked with his heel. All I know is that he scored 2 goals.
Yeah. Let's see. Hey, listen. Like I said, I hope he scores 50. Let's see how he does. We've played junk teams so far.
Oh
like
my God.
other than the Champions
I
League.
hate this argument. Just keep adding the
argument.
Perfect segue before we go to the next one is quickly, who is your MVP, Bill?
Darwin. I think the obvious is Darwin, but João Mario and Weigl in that midfield is just. I'm gonna go with Weigl just because he messed up, but he made up for it, and there were a few tackles he had in there, and he's just complete 180 from that first year he was here.
Oscar,
I would have said Weigl, but that mistake was a little too amateur to do right there, especially on the top of the 18. But he made up for it, like Bill said. He made up for it, so he kind of deserves the MVP. But I'm going with João Mario, like the quiet workhorse that he was today. To me, is insane. That guy deserves MVP.
Kenny?
So I like João Mario too, but I'm going to give it to Darwin. He was the man of the match in the regular, the official game. So 2 goals, you can't go wrong with that. Kid's on a little bit of a hot streak here, so I'll give it to the kid.
All right. I agree. Darwin Núñez, as Pedro would say.
Núñez.
For the MVP. Otamendi, according to Goal Point, got 7.0, man of the match. Darwin got the man of the match from the league after the match. He got a 6.5 rating. Chuk 6.5. Rafa 6.9. João Mario 6. Weigl 6.3. Gri 5.4. Vertonghen 5.7. Otamendi 7. Lucas Verissimo 5. Diogo 5.9. Vlaco 6.3. Lazaro 5.2. And Everton 4.7.
Hey, Mike, one thing. God, I'm going to miss Otamendi. I mean, that guy, it's so hard to find defenders like that.
Yeah.
Like, just balls to the wall like that. I'm going to miss him.
Can you think of the last?
You guys think he goes?
I don't think he'll leave.
I don't know. Yeah, I hope he stays.
I don't know. It's given his age, unless like a big team with a big paycheck, like in one of those obscure countries, comes knocking on his door. I know that his contract is a bit hefty, and I think after this year, Benfica takes on a little bit more of it. But given the importance like he has in the locker room, on the pitch, like JJ assigning him a captain, which ruffled some feathers, right? But when you start to look at like some of the captains that he's picking, right, I feel like you start to get a sense of like what JJ wants in this locker room, right? The guys like Otamendi, guys like Vertonghen, like those guys that are respectable. They've been there, they've done it, they've competed at the highest level. I'd be surprised if Benfica didn't make an effort to keep him for his last year, but time will tell. But can you think of quickly like when who the last defender was that Benfica had his profile?
Luizão.
But even Luizão wasn't his profile.
Fiery. He wasn't like Otamendi's like
no.
Luizão was like sure, simple, always there. Otamendi's like a mix of that, but he brings that, like Kenny's saying, like that fucking intensity. Like, yes. I can't remember the last defender that we had that intensity like he does.
Pep.
Yeah, but he's not ours. That's the thing. He brings that DNA from that team, right? Like we don't have that type of mindset in our squad.
Nope.
And it's not to say like you can't find good defenders, right? Garay was a good defender, but again, he didn't have that fire, like Luizão and Garay were like very close to like similar players.
I think Ruben Diaz had it.
Ruben Diaz.
Yeah, that's good actually. Yeah,
but I feel like he was a little bit more uncontrolled. Like his fire was a little bit more uncontrolled.
I mean, he's young still.
Exactly.
Exactly. Yeah, he can.
But it's because of his maturity, right? Otamendi's able to like cover up his crazy approaches sometimes because he's smarter, right? He's been around longer, so he knows how to kind of get around it. Whereas Ruben Diaz,
I don't know if Otamendi, if you give the same amount of games to Otamendi and Ruben Diaz, I think Otamendi gets more red cards than Ruben Diaz.
In the Portuguese league? Probably because of his history.
Yeah, and like Pepe gets not uncontrolled
because of their history.
Yeah, there was one play in the second half. I think Weigl got fouled, and Otamendi came up to the ref and like asked why it wasn't like a card or anything, and the ref gave an explanation, whatever. And Otamendi was like, "Okay." And the very next play, fucking Otamendi comes in, dude, legit like an elbow to the back to the guy, and was like, "Okay, tome."
Hey, you got to let them know you're there. That's the key. Next topic here: frequent criticism. And just for some context around this and I posted an article about it on Monday or Tuesday, or last week. It seems right. We're living in a time where Benfica fans are very divided, right? It seems like you're either a Vieirista, as they like to call it, or you like Hamburgues because you supported João Noronha Lopes, right? Like I feel like that's the divide at the moment, which is ridiculous, right? And if you support the team, you're a Vieirista. If you support the current administration, you're a Vieirista, right? And if you don't, you're against Benfica, you're not a Benfiquista, right? And like there can't be this like middle ground, right? Like why can't you support what the administration is doing today, right? But still criticize? Why can't you remember what's done and appreciate what's been done in the past, but still have an opinion and criticize, right? And naturally the opinion is important, right? Criticism is important, right? But it seems like at times a lot of fans are are more anxious for Benfica to slip up, for Benfica to have a poor performance, for JJ to make a mistake, to jump on it immediately than they are for Benfica to win, right? Like it seems like when Benfica's fine, right? Like even today, again, right? Like if you scroll through social media, if we had a manager, a competent manager, imagine what we would do, right? Like Benfica has played 11 official matches this season, 11, 6 league matches, 6 for 6. We've got clean sheets in 3, 50%. We've scored 16, conceded 3. 5 European matches, and we have not conceded in 4. And we have 6 goals and 1 conceded. 11 games, 7 clean sheets in 11 games, right? And like Oscar said, right, we haven't played anyone good. We talked about it last year, right? The league is decided by 3 or 4 games, right? The Sportings, the Bragas, the Portos, right? Okay, we haven't played anyone good, but these are the games we have to win, right? Like if you slip up in these games, you're chasing your tail in the games that matter, right? And it's just like it's confusing to me that when we're winning and we're 6 for 6 in the league, and again, the league's not won. We're not, saying we're the champions. We're not saying we're the best. There's still work to be done. But I feel like we're so inclined to, we haven't played anyone good. Oh, don't be excited. It's still like, why can't we give credit when credit is due, right? For me, we are a shadow. Last year, we were a shadow of what we are this year from an organization perspective on the field. Defensively, the goal that we conceded against Dynamo that ended up being offsides, last year, we conceded that goal because our defensive line was in shambles. We had no organization. Guys were coming in, going out, right? Again, a lot of them new to the team. But we're just so inclined to criticize first than we are to be able to just say, hats off, right? Like, okay, we're doing this well. Yes, we can still improve. Yes, we can still be better, right? Yes, JJ makes his mistakes. Yes, he has things to improve on. Yes, he has his past. Yes, he said what he said. I don't think anyone's going to forget that, right? I was equally as frustrated as you, Oscar, right? The things that he said when he left. But JJ is one of those guys that if he goes next door, he's going to fucking defend the team that's next door. And the team that he was at can fuck off, right? Because he's going to defend them as much as he will. Do we think it's the right thing from a character perspective? Probably not, right? Because you burn bridges, right? And the life came full circle and he ended up back to where he criticized, right? But at the end of the day, like, I don't see how we can't applaud him for how we turn things around and how much better we look this year. Again, we haven't won anything, but the consistent criticism does my head in. Kenny, I'll start with you. I don't know what your opinion is on this.
No, I 100% agree with you. And I don't listen, the thing with JJ and when he left, for me, if he's on your, like you said, if he's on your side, then you have 100% of him. Whether he makes mistakes and he'll fumble, subs at the end of the game or makes the wrong changes, it's going to happen. I think that happens with every coach out there. But I know that if JJ's on your team, he's going to be defending you and to do the best for your team. And I think last year, I just think we had a poor team. I think we started off the season bad. We had we had a lot of things going on with the elections. It was just an odd year. It's not an excuse. It's not just because João Mário comes in this year and he changed the midfield and we're playing better doesn't mean that we shouldn't have at least fought a lot closer for the lead with Tarat and Gabriel or whoever else. Like, you should have still been in the race, but it happened. It is what it is. But I'm trying to be more optimistic this year. I want to stay on the good graces. We're on a good run right now.
This is the Zen, Kenny.
Yeah, I'm trying to be Zen. Just Zen. Could we have another terrible January and lose 5 out of the 6 or whatever, like last year? It could happen, and I could, I'll change my mind maybe. I don't know, but until it happens, I think everything's going well right now. On the field, most importantly, is on the field, and I see a big change in our organization, how we're playing. Midfield looks better, and I think that Darwin and Yaremchuk are gonna kind of hopefully mesh together a little bit and go on a tear. I'm just gonna stay positive. I just want to stay positive. That's my attitude this year. And that's Oscar's next. I want to hear what Oscar.
Here we go.
I was about to say, can we go to Oscar next?
We're up here. Here we
Oscar.
go. Buckle up. The roller coaster's coming down.
Fucking roller coaster.
Let's go, Oscar.
No, it's not a roller coaster, guys. I'm optimistic too. I mean, my only
your hashtag says it all.
It's the cliff.
But I'm not sitting here and excusing last year's performance on COVID or this.
No one said COVID. Did anyone just say COVID?
Yeah, Kenny has said it in the chat room. Let me to pull it up many times.
In the chat room.
I'm
saying right now.
No, but this year he didn't say it because he knows that I'm going to make fun of that.
Hold on, but do you know? And Kenny said it last year too, right? The COVID excuse, right? Fine, call it what you want. Do you know who had the best second half of the season last year?
I know Benfica had the second best team, but the Campeonato already lost.
Oh, but regardless, right?
Because
you lost the points during that phase.
COVID, we had the best season.
But Campeonato already lost.
Because it doesn't fit your argument, right? Regardless of it.
Chasing something that's not yours anymore, it's useless.
So basically, you just give up, right? We don't have to win the games anymore. Fuck it.
We didn't even get into we had to qualify to Champions League. We didn't even get direct to Champions League. And guess how much money we spent last year? Yeah, that's my criticism. The money we spent. For the money we spent compared to
Spartan, still pay off this year.
Wait, it's 6 games in, Kenny. We had the same last year, so relax.
It pay off though.
No, it wasn't. It was 5 games in, dude. Get it straight.
All right.
And we were worse off last year.
So my only thing is criticism is those guys, Sporting and Porto, did not spend close to as much as we spent. All right, not even
they don't have it.
Not even a fraction. I get it, but we still got first and second place.
We can spend it. That's the thing. They
can't. We're negative this year too on that contest.
Yeah, we were negative like fucking 9 million. You know how negative Sporting is? 30 million.
I know, but they didn't spend money to buy players, and they won a campeonato. And
they're still negative 30 million.
Oh, cum caralho. Real Madrid is negative 400 million.
It's different.
You're the one talking about money, and now
you're the one that's talking about money.
My argument is we spend the money on these players, and we should be winning against Porto and Sporting. We should be dominating them. The money we spend compared to those two, which is our biggest rivals, it should be dominating. It should be almost PSG and France. The way we spend money.
They lost last year, right? This year we'll find out.
They lost the league.
I know, but that's disappointing. That's, to me, PSG losing the league last year. Benfica losing the league last year is 100%. As equally disappointing because PSG should have won the league easily, and Benfica should have won the easy.
Yeah, but hold on, but you can't. Okay, so Darwin, what's his contract? A 4-year contract? I mean, you can't just. Let's give him the 4 years and then give, let's find out if it paid off or not. It's not just 1 year and done. Like, that's it. If he sucks for the 4 years, then fine. He didn't pay out. But if 1 year, what about if the next 3 years he wins the league?
This is if scenarios. Obviously, right? Wait, this is if scenarios. If we don't make the Champions League, if PSV, when we're playing with 10 guys, ends up scoring the away goal, whatever it is, the goal that we tied 0-0 there, right? If they end up scoring that 1 goal because they had chances to score, right? Blanco kept us in the game. If they had to score 1 goal, what would happen right now with the money that we spent? We're not in Champions League.
This kid with an if Benfica doesn't lose to PAOK last year and there's VAR and we go into the Champions League, what happens, right? Ruben Diaz stays and things may have been different, right? Like if Benfica didn't get
100%.
COVID, if Benfica doesn't get 20 guys with COVID last year, right? Who knows? Maybe we would have won the league. That if is to suit your argument. Like, I don't understand where you're going to.
When the team spends as much money as Benfica does spend, I expect more. And Jorge Jesus I don't think anyone
is excusing that. You're just fitting the if argument into your argument, so it works.
My only thing is criticizing. You guys asked me why the criticism, right? I'm criticizing the money we spent to the performance.
That's not what your criticism. I know, but we all know what the root cause of your criticism is.
Yeah. I mean, your major criticism is JJ. I think we're all on the same page with how we're playing on the field this year. I think you would agree, Jean Mario, huge investment.
Yeah, I've said that. I think not only Jean Mario, not only the midfield. I think fixing Jesus. Another thing, Jesus was not a fan of the 3 defenders. He was not a fan. He said it himself. He was the 4 guy back. Changing to the 3 backs is probably the best thing Benfica has ever done this year.
So do you give him credit for that?
No, he didn't like it. He didn't like it.
It's his fault. Of course, it's his fault.
But he adapted.
He didn't want the four back. But with the Verissimo, Otamendi, and Vertonghen, he couldn't afford to leave one of those guys on the bench.
But okay,
yeah, but when he brought in Lucas Verissimo, he was going to the 3. Like that was his plan.
No, he was not, dude. He said it when he brought Verissimo. He said he was not going to. His system is a 4 back. He said it when he brought in Verissimo. He said his system is a 4 back. All right, we started playing better with a 3, and that's why it ended up being a 3 back. Because we couldn't go with Grimaldo in the back. We couldn't trust him in the back. We couldn't go with Gilberto in the back or Diogo because we couldn't trust them in the back. They're wide wingers. They're wingers, right? So like the fullbacks with playing wide, and they needed the extra defender to cover for them. So yeah, it happened this way. But I think going to 3 back and adding Joe Mario in the midfield is what made this team the way it is right now.
But you don't give JJ credit for changing the system because he said he didn't like the back 3
and for bringing João Mario. That was his
right,
and for buying Lucas. Buenísimo.
João Mario Jorge Jesus is great, guys.
No, but here's my frustration. Here's my frustration. Right, last year we all shit on JJ. The reason why we lost the league and everything was JJ's fault. But like this year, things are going well. Why can't we just say, hey, you know what? Maybe JJ figured it out. Why is it still got to be like if he gets the criticism when we're down, then he should get some credit when we're doing well. And that's my thing. Like you can't have it both ways.
Read what Joey's saying. I agree with Joey 100%.
Gets credit for nothing, or he didn't have a choice to change. I'll credit him when he leaves. Again, like
of course he had a choice to change.
He had a choice, right? Like
he could have stayed with the.
He's got Pizzi on the bench. He made a choice. I'm going to put him on the bench. He has 3 defenders. He made a choice. This game I'm going to play with 4 backs. This game I'm going to play with 2 center backs. JJ, if anything that we've learned from JJ is he's going to do what he wants to do, regardless of what the fans think, regardless of what. Why do you think he ended up leaving the first time? Because he didn't have an agreement with Luis Fiera. He wanted more control, and Luis Fiera and him didn't see eye to eye, so he left, right? And then he ended up going to get him back. JJ is a guy that if he says he's going to do something, he's going to be stubborn as fuck, and that's what he's going to do it. Just like yesterday in the recap of the entry zone of the game, he said, o Gabriel nunca sabe, pode ser reintegrado na equipa, o futebol muda muitas coisas, right? Do you actually believe that Gabriel would actually come back into this team? And then this morning, there's a news that his agent is in Lisbon looking for him to mutually terminate his contract, right? So just because he said, I don't like the back 3, I think we still have to give him credit because
he went to it. He had the choice to do it, and he did it. It's not. That's what I don't understand is he didn't have a choice. What do you mean he didn't have a choice? He's the coach. He sets up the lineup. If he wants to play with 4 back, he'll play with 4 back. He made the change to 3. Why? Because he wanted. Because he decided to.
Everybody was calling for the 3 back. Everybody. It was just did what everybody wanted him to do.
So Benfica's managed.
Since when does he do exactly? Since when?
I don't know.
How many people complain about Pizzi not playing, and does he start him?
I don't understand how he doesn't have a choice. He's the manager of the team. He's starting the lineup. If he didn't want to play with a 3 back, he'd play with a 4 back. Period. And
then who do you leave on the bench? Who does he leave on the bench?
Vertonghen can easily sit on the bench. He's
go pay him $2 million to sit on the bench.
Well, if he wanted to, he'd play the 4 back, and Vertonghen would sit.
Yeah,
he's done. I mean, Vertonghen has when he plays 4 in the back.
Vertonghen 4 back against Tondela at home. He's alternated between a 4 and a 3.
He has. He's done it. He did it last year. And done it this year. He's gone back and forth. It's all matchups. I don't understand that he doesn't have a choice. He has the final choice. He has the final choice in who he wants to play, how he wants to play, how he starts the starting 11.
How do you know? So this is like
Rui Costa's telling him who to start and who to sit.
Hey, if Rui Costa plays, he plays.
I don't think so.
No.
I'm just joking.
I didn't even hear what he said. Bill, what are your thoughts on this?
Fucking conspiracy theories left and right over here. Holy shit. Dude, Jorge Jesus has never done anything that just because the fans are in uproar and that's what they want. Right? He went to the back 3 because he had the players to play it. When he was at the beginning of the season, he was kind of jumping between the 2. He didn't have Lucas Verissimo. He didn't have that 3rd center back that he could trust back there. So he wasn't playing with a 3-back. Once he got him, he had the 3 backs that he could play back there. He has Weigl and Diogo that can run the entire fucking flank. So he moved to it, right? He had the players. Once he got the players to be able to play that system, he moved to it. And of course, there's going to be games where he goes back and forth between the two. And it all depends on kind of the schedule and trying to give players rest. Because I think this year we have the team where we can rest players on certain days and give them extra time to kind of recover, depending on what the schedule's like. But the fact, trying to say that Jorge Jesus had no choice in going to a back 3, I think that's ludicrous. I think that's insane.
Yeah, I agree. I think that
it's just an opinion. I mean,
and I'm saying that opinion's crazy.
It's a valid opinion. And again, this is the important thing.
I happen to think it's crazy that you guys think Jorge Jesus doesn't listen to anybody.
I don't know. I think if there's one thing that I've learned from JJ,
you learned what's his favorite color?
Hold on. So
I like Tank's comment.
Hold on. So I'm gonna say, right? I'm gonna say that from what I've learned from him, right, seeing him and his persona is X. But you just made an assumption that he made a change because people were asking for it. Do you know him? Did you have a conversation with him? Do you know how he makes it? Like again, you question my opinion,
his argument.
So you contradicted.
No. You know,
it is.
Me saying everybody's asking for a 3-back is basically I'm asking for a 3-back. That's what I said from the beginning. I wanted a 3-back. Obviously, I know that he doesn't listen to me when it goes to I want 3-back. But in this case, with the plays that he had, it's almost like a no-brainer to go to a 3-back. A no-brainer. So like, Jesus can be the dumbest coach in the world, and if he has the players that he has with Grimaldo on the left and Diogo on the right, and with the 3 center backs that we have, it's a no-brainer because we know the problems that our wide backs face when they play a 4-back, right? We know that problem. So it's a no-brainer to go to a 3-back when we have Verissimo, Otamendi, Vertonghen and the team. To me, that's
sure, it's a no-brainer, but he has the option.
Of course he has the option. He has the option to lose too, which he's done.
He has the option to lose?
Yeah, he has an option to lose. He has the option to put David Luiz against Hulk, and he lost 5-0.
Oh, my God. Dude.
And he has the option to put Easy on the bench and us go 6-0 in the league.
No, it must have been someone else. No. According to you, it was someone else that put David Luiz back there.
Sorry.
And it says here in the comments, which I agree with her. JJ listens to nobody but himself. He does what he wants, and that's it. Either you like him or not. He could care less. I agree.
And that's my opinion. I mean, I can have an opinion. I don't think he listens to any of it.
Thank you. Right. That's what I was saying. His persona is take it or leave it. Right. Like if you're not happy, you're not happy.
I don't think Everton cares that the Kenny talk shit about him. I don't think Darwin cares that can talk shit about him. I don't think because you know why? They don't give a shit about us little people. They don't give a shit about you either.
Exactly. Joey says, "Oh, can't click here for some reason." That's what I'm trying to say. He doesn't have a choice. That way, that 3 center back formation is playing. Again, he has a choice. Like I don't understand this. He doesn't have a choice. He has a ton of defenders. He has a choice. His choice is to play with a 3, and he's chosen to play with a 4. And when you go back to the past, Oscar, with David Luiz and such, as we talked about before, like it or not, he's the winningest coach in Benfica's history.
And the one that spends the most money.
And that's fine. And he's the one that
wins championships.
He also wins championships too, because he went to the final at Europa twice and he lost them. So that, I mean, what's a Mourinho say? Final son para ganhar. That's like he said it actually. Final son para ganhar. Yeah, he won it.
So if you want to talk about money, then Benfica should have lost one of those finals against Chelsea.
Yeah, they should have, and they did.
Okay.
And they did.
But again, would you rather lose getting there or lose not getting there?
All right. Nobody's gonna remember the second place. Nobody does. Fine. We made money all the way through to the final, but we make to the look at Porto makes the finals. They win, and they with worse teams than we had. All right.
Soccer was
but what would you rather have? Would you rather have a losing against Pons in the beginning of the season or losing at the final of Europa League?
Obviously, I would rather go to the final. That's a stupid question. Everybody.
Well, then there you go.
No, but he doesn't win them. Like he's lost when Cardoso fought him in the final Taça de Portugal. It was against Guimarães, I believe. Like he's not a winning. He's not a coach that like with the players that he had at his disposal. He's not a coach that wins at all. Like he should be cleaning sheets. He should be like absolutely just destroying with a team.
Yeah, he's the winningest manager in Benfica's history.
Right.
But he doesn't win them all. He doesn't win them. He doesn't win them, but he's the winningest manager.
You guys keep saying this. You guys keep saying he's the winningest coach. He comes in, he brings anybody that he wants. All right? Anybody that he wants. It's almost like Mourinho going to Chelsea. Hey, give me this guy, give me this guy, give me this guy. And then he wins the league. No shit, you're going to win the league. When Bruno Lage came in, all the big shots went away. Bruno Lage still won the league, came back 6 points from behind. I give credit to a coach. All right?
And then lost the locker room the next year. And then went to shit, and now he's...
No, wait.
To get sacked at Wolves? That's the same thing.
Yes,
but that wasn't Bruno Lage's team.
The plan with Bruno Lage was Academia. We all said it.
That was in the second season.
Yeah, when he lost this pot. It was the second season.
So right. when he had a chance to make it his own, it started great and then fell apart. But the season that he won wasn't his team. The only change he really made was in terms of mentality, sure, but in terms of personnel, the only change he made was Jean Felix.
I don't agree with. I mean, I don't remember the player for player, but I think he came when Bruno Lage came into the pitches after Rui Vitória left. We were like behind Porto, and then we came back and recovered those points. That means the team was not performing, so Bruno Lage changed that team.
He changed it mentality and tactics wise, but the players themselves were Rui Vitória's.
After the second season of Bruno Lage, all we lost is João Felix. He didn't lose anybody else.
Correct, and then we fell apart in the second half of the season.
But apostou na formação. He was bringing players from the B team. We didn't invest any money on Bruno Lage, right? If Bruno Lage came in this year and you could spend 100 million, Bruno Lage probably could do what Jorge Jesus is doing, right?
Debatable.
It's debatable, but that's what I mean. Like when Jesus comes in, he goes, if I come in, I have to bring this player.
Because he's not a yes man.
20 million there, 25 million here. You think Bruno Lage had that choice?
Because he doesn't have that caliber.
Oh, okay, all right.
JJ coming from Brazil, having won the Copa Libertadores, if he says I'm coming back and I want X.
He went to Brazil. He also brought a lot of players into Flamengo to compete.
He did, and he won everything.
I know shit. That's why he should be doing it in Portugal last year when he spent.
Well, let's talk about JJ's first year. He already had the players, right? He didn't bring anyone like.
No,
he brought
a lot of players.
His first year.
Yes,
I thought he said that he would. I thought he said he would take the team that was there and he would make them play 3 times more, or whatever, wasn't it? I don't think he brought in. I think
he brought in a lot of players. He brought in a lot of players. Jorge Jesus every time. Yes, he brought in a lot of players.
I could be wrong. I thought he said that he would take the team. He's like, "Oponho este equipa andar, whatever he said, o dobro, yeah."
Yeah.
I thought he was the team.
The year that he signed, the first year, 2009-2010, Benfica signed Javi Garcia, Ramirez, Saviola. Those are really the only big names.
Yeah, but that's
and how much was the total? How much was the money?
Javi was 7, Ramirez was 7, and Saviola was 5.
I mean, Ramirez was a big sign. I mean, he.
And Saviola is well known. Javi Garcia came, I think, from Real Madrid or the
their B team.
Yeah, but I think that team was already like pretty solid, and we had just we weren't playing well. And he said he would come in, take that team, and have them playing double, and like right off the bat, like I think we had a goleada like 5-0 in like the second Jorge Jesus game that he had.
8-1 in the league, third game against Setúbal.
Third game, 8-1. And that was already like pretty much there was already a base team. I mean, we probably got Ramirez probably started. And Saviola,
he started with Cardoso, yes.
Okay.
In the winter transfer of that first year, he went and signed Yu Dabao.
Fucking stud.
Oh, he left. He sold him to Tianjin Tita. Oscar, you have anything to say to joining you here? You just disapproved your own point because you said JJ gets all the players he wants, but then you said he has no choice in playing 3 at the back.
What the fuck does that even mean? I said with the players Jesus has on the squad currently, it's almost a no-brainer to play a 3 back. It's not. I'm not saying he has no choice or choice. It's like a no-brainer to play the 3 back, and you don't have to be a coach to know that.
But he brought in those players.
Yeah, no, Otamendi, I don't think it was his choice. Otamendi came when Ruben Diaz left, but I think it was like one of those swap things. He didn't even want Otamendi, to be honest with you. That's what he said. It was not his choice.
It wasn't his first choice.
It was part of the deal. Joey says, "I get you, Oscar. Don't worry."
I know. I just don't understand. I mean, I'm not speaking Chinese. I know I have an accent, but shit.
Quickly to wrap this up, obvious improvements. I think we all talked about it. João Mario coming in, Weigl, a huge improvement just in himself since he arrived. Again, I would credit that to some of JJ's work with him. He seems like a more complete player. He's getting up the field. He's creating those fouls further up the pitch where he wasn't doing that last year. He was just getting brushed off or not stopping the play. Any other standouts that you guys would say from last year to this year?
I would say the turnaround of Vlaco Dimos. I mean, he was pretty much written off last year, and I thought he was probably on his way out. And I mean, he's saved us in a few games already. That you talked about the clean sheets earlier, so I think his turnaround's been pretty impressive.
Yep. Oscar, Bill, anything?
Well,
else?
I'm surprised Kenny didn't say the vaccine coming now was a big turnaround.
This kid, he's been waiting for that one all day.
100%.
He had it written down.
But, no, I from last year to this year, obviously, other than adding a new player with João Mario and Veríssimo coming in, changing the whole defense, I think I agree with Kenny. I think Vlaco has made the biggest flip. You know, Weigl, we can talk about Weigl here but he was already doing this last year, at some point last year. Vlaco lost his spot. Getting it back and having these clean sheets is huge.
Agree. Bill, anything else you would add there?
No, I agree with that.
All right. Well, we have next game is in Guimarães, which will be a very tough game.
Wait, guys, before you go into that, did you guys see what our schedule looks like in November 1st?
So starting in November,
I haven't seen it, but I'm sure it's going to be difficult.
All right, November 2nd, Bayern away. November 7th, Braga at home. November 23rd, Barcelona away. Belenenses away. Sporting at home. Dynamo at home. And then we go to Famalicão. That's in November. All November. Well, December.
No.
Beginning.
Yeah, this Sporting's in December already.
Yeah, December 3rd. That's a tough, like 5 games in a row.
That was like last year's schedule. I think it was like January.
Yeah.
But this year, hopefully we won't have any COVID cases and we'll have the full squad, so we can kind of rotate players. We don't have to fucking worry about losing 20 guys.
We got more depth.
Yeah. And everyone's vaccinated, so
yeah,
it's good.
So
all jokes aside, I mean that could be a turning point in the season, just like last year. So that's something to keep an eye out for.
So if there's no COVID cases and I'm knocking on wood, I don't even know if I have wood. I have fake wood over here. Does it count? But if somehow that November goes as well as January last year, who do you guys blame? Okay, that's
what?
Forget it.
No, I blame the schedule.
The first to blame is typically always the coach, right?
Of course,
the manager always gets the first blame.
You're saying if we have a bad November?
Yeah.
Let's say about let's make a deal right now. It's September 20th. If we go November and in that November we qualify for the Champions League forward. I mean, we go forward in the Champions League because we play Barcelona and Bayern twice, or Barcelona twice and Bayern once, or Bayern twice and Barcelona once. So at that time, we should know more or less if we're in or out of Champions League. And we're still in first place in the league. I will say a speech for Jorge Jesus in a positive way.
All right. We got receipts right now. We got receipts.
An hour and 14.
I will give Jorge Jesus at that time.
Wow. So it's going to take qualifying for the next round for you to forgive him.
And the next round, and if we're still in first in the Portuguese league,
you gotta do it on one knee though. You gotta go get down on one.
No, guys. Me giving credit to Jorge Jesus is gonna be taken. It's like almost like giving a speech to being the best man at a wedding when you don't like the wife.
Should be interesting. All right, we'll remember this on episode 63. Benfica goes to Guimarães this weekend before we play at home against Barcelona. Guimarães is 10th in the league with 7 points, 1 win, 4 draws, 1 loss. Pipa went there. Surprising start to the season. I would have expected a little bit better from him. They've tied 4 of their last 5 games. They beat Vizela 4-0. They tied Estoril, who's doing well. They tied Braga. They tied Wolnes, and they tied Aroca. So normally away to Guimarães is never typically isn't an easy game. So this weekend will be a test of what we got in us. Predictions for that quickly. Kenny, I'll start with you.
I mean, are we able to like change things up later on?
Yeah.
All right. So just an initial. I mean, we thought, like you said, Guimarães is usually a tough opponent, but they have struggled this year. But I think we're on a tear. I think we'll. I'll just go 2-1.
Okay. Oscar.
It's gonna be away. I'm gonna say 1-0.
Bill.
We play them on a Saturday?
It's on the 25th, which is Saturday. It's Jay's wedding.
Yeah. So then we have the Champions League on Wednesday.
That's surprising, no? Don't they usually do like a Sunday game after?
Yeah, I don't know.
I'm going to go 2-0.
2-0. Okay. Juaninho, we have a fantasy league, but it's for Champions League. I'll put it in the comment after if you want to join. I'm going to go with Oscar. I think low scoring game. Of the last 5 games that Benfica's played against Guimarães away, we won 3-1 twice and won 1-0 3 times. So I think it'll be tight. I'm going to go 0-1 as well. We will be back next Monday to review the Guimarães game and preview the Barcelona game. Hopefully Ronald Koeman is still the manager of Barcelona when they arrive in Lisbon on Wednesday. Thanks to everyone in the chat. We have a surprise on Thursday. Valdo, those of you who probably remember him, or those of you who grew up in the 90s like us, Valdo, a very talented midfielder, Brazilian international. He will be on the podcast with us on Thursday.
That's
at 3
awesome.
p.m. 3 p.m. Eastern time. So check out for that. We'll post it tomorrow, but Thursday, Benfica legend will be on Umil Benfiquismo to tell us a little bit about his career, his time at Benfica, his connection to the club that still remains. He's still involved with the club. He was in Kiev with the team. He was in the press box today, or the president's box today, next to Rui Costa and a few of the other legends. So look out for that. And then the Portuguese podcast will be on Wednesday, I believe. But other than that, boys, any last thoughts before we sign off?
No, let's keep the momentum going. Hopefully we can get some more. Hopefully we can steal some points. The Champions League is really interesting. Hopefully we can have one of those brilliant, Champion League nights, European nights at the Estadio da Luz and like push us.
Can we petition like the Portuguese government to like let 65,000 fans back into that bitch just for the Barca game? Like, just let them fill it up.
That's your UEFA rules. It's not Portugal.
I feel like that after like a year and a half a year of an empty stadium and now a half a year of partial stadiums, like once that place gets full, it's going to be fucking unbelievable. And I think having that for that Barca game would be a huge advantage.
50%'s already sold out for Barca, so that's good.
Who was the coach? Was it Koeman? That was the coach for Benfica against the 2-0 Liverpool.
Yeah.
Simão and
Micheli.
Yeah.
Wow.
Now it comes full circle. Now he's going to lose to us in Lisbon.
I hope.
Oh. Oh yeah, don't forget your hashtags. JJ Rua. Oscar's next. Oscar, did you ever notice what's behind Bill?
No, what the fuck is that?
This whole time he didn't even notice.
Tiny print.
Oh my god. And before we sign off, I can't forget to mention where is it? Come on. Oh, this right here made Oscar as red as that shirt he's wearing.
Hashtag the comment of the night.
Julia gets the comment of the night.
Get that trending.
Done.
Hey, can we get a screenshot of this and post it on Facebook? Comment of the night. Just
get that trending.
Get it trending.
Wow.
Boys, it was a pleasure as always. We will chat again next week. Thanks to everyone in the chat. Don't forget to follow us on social media. Oh, Oscar's next.
There it is.
What is it exactly is Oscar's next?
Next on JJ's list.
Oh, he signed up.
He's off. He's running.
Don't forget to check us out on social media on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, and Instagram. And we will chat next week. Boys, have a good night. Viva Benfica. We got one more chat. Oh, Jay just laughing. All right, boys. Catch you next week. Have a good night.
Absolutely. Good night, guys.
Night, boys.